It is April 22nd. It is day 93 of the Trump presidency. I don't know, should we get some graphics where I'm like etching it into a wall with like a piece of rock or something? I do feel there is a strong possibility that by the end of Trump's presidency, I may be scratching things into a wall with a rock and pacing around an empty room. You know, it's just a guess about something that could be happening in the future. In any case, Marco Rubio has plans to do a massive overhaul to the State Department. They are planning to fire 15% of the staff. And they are also planning to close over 100 bureaus worldwide as a part of Trump's America First mandate, meaning supposedly it's in our best interest to only care about ourselves. But the problem with that is, look around you. Look at what's happening to the economy when we stop interacting in a kind and reasonable manner with the rest of the world. It's not going well. In any case, this is what's happening, so that's what we're talking about. The Supreme Court heard arguments today from the families in Maryland that have an interest in not allowing their children to hear LGBT children's books, and experts are saying that they are likely to allow those families to opt out. Again, this case would be a case that would begin to set a precedent for that for other families in the country to be able to not only opt out of LGBT books, but also science or math if they decide that it's the devil's work or something, or maybe just like reading altogether because, you know, if people read books, they get too smart for your dumb bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Those families, though, honestly, are likely to maybe not want their kids to hear about dinosaurs if they're more like fundamentalist Christians. I mean, this is a slippery slope, and this is the reason why the lower the lower courts ruled against this, because it's very disruptive to the school to have to find a place to put your freaking kid so that they don't hear what the world is actually like. Anyways, it is what it is. We'll see what the Supreme Court actually does. Hate this country right now. I don't hate the foundational principles of this country necessarily. I do hate how it was built, and I hate where it's heading. So I don't know. Anyways, the Department of Health and Human Services and also the FDA are planning to phase out petroleum-based synthetic dyes in our food. Honestly, like that is something that I can get on board with. I think there are certain chemicals in our food here in the United States that are banned in other countries that are known to potentially cause cancer and all kinds of other like endocrine problems. I have no problem with them getting this stuff out of our food. I just have a problem with RFK Jr. standing up on a stage and saying that autistic people are unable to contribute to society. Anyways, the producer of 60 Minutes has resigned today. It's a really big deal. His name is Bill Owens. He is resigning because of the Trump administration interfering with, free speech. The Trump administration has been attacking the show 60 Minutes because of some of the editing that was done to the Kamala Harris interview during campaigns. The news is absolutely in general under attack, like the real news, like NPR and PBS, and now 60 Minutes is another very well-respected show that is very careful about their reporting and, very reliable when it comes to facts. and instead shows like, I think, is he still beefing with Fox News? I don't even know what's going on with him and Fox. They have a very toxic relationship. But, he's elevating like what is it? OAN? I can't remember what it stands for. Trash. It's trash. It's not real news. And we're in a scary situation because if no one is going out there and doing the actual reporting, like I won't be able to bring you headlines if headlines are banned in this country. I'm not a journalist. I'm not out in the streets getting headlines. And if TikTok goes away, then I will really be shit out of luck. But what happens right now is I often hear some of the major headlines throughout the day on TikTok. I'll take screenshots. I'll make note of it. I will actually go look into it and verify it and then come back to you with more details in the evening. And I could do that, and I sometimes also do if I don't really hear big headlines throughout the day. If I'm not hearing those on TikTok, then I will just go straight to NPR, go straight to AP News, etc., PBS, BBC. BBC is likely to still remain a source of news, but how will they know what's going on in the United States? I don't know. We're in a really sketchy situation in this country when it comes to the Constitution in general and free speech. It's seen better days. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I guess this is a tiny bit of good news, but not really. In any way that the Supreme Court can push back against the Trump administration at all, like, we'll take it. This is not a big pushback, but essentially, long story short, Trump has been pushing immigrants to leave immediately when they are voluntarily saying that they will leave. Not surprised about that. They're not giving them any time to like get their things, get a plan, and get out. The Supreme Court is pushing back on this and saying that they should at least be given, and they're not being specific about it, which I think is a mistake, but they said days. Whatever that means. What does that mean? 5 business days, 10 business days? How much time do these people have? They're using a man as an example in this article that I was reading that has been here for 20 years. He's been in Colorado for 20 years, and he has to just drop his life and get out. It's kind of a big deal. And again, I understand that there are people that are here illegally, and I have really mixed feelings about that. I'm not suggesting that people should just be able to break laws with no consequences. That being said, understand that many of the people that were here are here because they are, again, running from a situation where their life was in danger, their family's lives were in danger, they're in a war, they're being assaulted by gangs, etc. They're not typically just here to be here. Imagine leaving your country, like we may eventually have to if this gets exponentially worse. I've spent a good amount of time thinking about what it would be like to try to move myself to Canada or something. It's an uncomfortable thought to leave my country. Honestly, Canada is very appealing to me in a million different ways, but that's a really big deal. And people don't do that for no reason. In any case, I guess Elon Musk is scaling back at Doge. Really what's happening is Tesla is now entering a complete and total meltdown red zone, where his shareholders have told him he needs to fix this immediately or he's out. And he's not going to be able to. So not only has he lost some of his good standing with the Trump administration because they're still having some kind of behind the scenes drama, he's also, his company is failing. And I don't foresee them being able to come back. I think I just saw something about them canceling either a new model being made or something along those lines. They can't, here's the other thing. The tariffs are actually really screwing over Tesla because they get their parts from China, man. Like everybody else, girl. So yeah, he's having his worst day ever, literally. This is so weird, but it's so typical. So Trump is now backtracking and saying that he has no intentions of firing Jerome Powell. After getting on Truth Social yesterday and just like yapping his face off about how Jerome Powell is like a loser and all this, just like the crazy, it's so unprofessional. It's so insane. It's the most unpresidential shit anyone's ever seen. And then the whiplash from this man. I mean, if you know, you know. Some people maybe weren't paying as close of attention the first time around. He is worse this time. You know, it is sort of, narcissism is a progressive disease in some ways, just like other diseases, because if it's just left untreated, it festers and then it starts to kind of integrate with your natural biological problems that just arise with age, like dementia or just forgetfulness or irritability, like physical ailments, and it gets worse. It gets worse because it's the coping mechanism that comes along with narcissism. It's like those rage attacks and grandiosity and bragging, and then like once your brain kind of starts to like die down a little bit and you don't have any filter left at all, and maybe he legitimately doesn't even remember saying any of the shit he said yesterday. Honestly, who knows? But it makes him look really, really, really crazy. It's like, if you're going to have that strong of an opinion about Jerome Powell, you should stand 10 toes down on it. You shouldn't come back the next day and say you have no intentions of firing him when you're saying he needs to resign and all these things. He needs to get the hell out and he's a loser and he's doing a horrible job and he's Mr. Not Fast Enough or whatever the hell he called him. It's crazy. And it makes the whole country look crazy because he's currently supposed to be representing this country, which is an absolute tragedy for sane people. Okay, so this is actually a little bit of a good story. However, I don't know that a misdemeanor is like a strong enough response to what happened. Do you guys remember the woman that was dragged out of the town hall? Her name was Teresa Boren Pohl. She was dragged out of a town hall by 6 men who were basically privately hired security guards, and they were wearing civilian clothes. Anyways, all 6 of them have been charged with misdemeanors, and that is good. That is good because they need to know, like, you're not... I am curious to see, like, if anything like that will happen to ICE when they've been, like, breaking people's car windows and dragging the wrong people out of their cars and stuff. You gotta be careful when you do this stuff, you guys. Like, you don't really have the authority. You're not a police officer. And you don't have the authority to just be physically assaulting people for like talking or existing. Like, I don't know. In any case, I'm happy to hear it. A misdemeanor is kind of nothing. Honestly, like, it's not enough, but at least they got some sort of consequences from those actions, and I appreciate that. This is a horrible story. So there was an immigrant named Ricardo Prada Vasquez, and he has completely disappeared. This is crazy because I live pretty close to where this all happened. So he was working in Detroit, and he was a delivery driver, okay? There are parts of Detroit where you can sort of accidentally get on a part of the highway that crosses over into Canada, and then there's no way to get back off. Like, you have to cross over and just come back, which is what he did. And because he just got confused, he took a wrong turn. On his way back in, they detained him. From there, they took him to Texas to a holding facility. From there, he was one of the people that was supposed to go over, I believe, in like the first shipment of people to El Salvador. However, There is no record of him on the plane. There's no record of him in El Salvador. There's no record of him anywhere. And I guess he's supposedly not, like, no longer in Texas. They don't know where he is. Which makes me feel like something pretty bad happened. And that they scrubbed his existence from those facilities, because I don't believe that they've simply lost a human being. You know what I'm saying? It's very sad. He looks extremely young. Again, it's just not safe here in this country right now for people. And I understand that people coming here have extraordinary circumstances and they're looking for safety. I would just simply say, this is not a safe place for anyone now. It's not a safe place for United States citizens either. I do know that, like, travel to the United States is at all-time lows. And honestly, like, that is sad for the businesses that rely on tourists, and there are a lot of them. It's very sad. But I want those people to stay safe. I don't really want people coming here right now. And I'm hopeful that other countries will step up to help immigrants that are in need of asylum right now, because, again, people cannot come here. It is not a safe place. This is a really, really, really big headline that's honestly probably not getting enough attention because of its absolute, like, anti everything that this country stands for. It is literally, like, flat out against the Constitution that they're doing this. But Pam Bondi has announced a task force to eradicate anti-Christian policies. So they're going to be going after, like, anyone who has doled out consequences to people who are, like, protesting outside of an abortion clinic. Or, I mean, I think that this is a very loose definition for a reason, right? Because what is an anti-Christian policy? Are we going to have to teach in schools now that, like, the world was made in 7 days? Technically 6. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far are they going to try to take this? It really does. It is giving Handmaid's Tale. And unsurprised. My feathers are unruffled. However, I think that this slippery slope leads straight to hell. It's not good. And I think what they're doing is they're stacking up ways for them to arrest people that they don't like. Because there's a lot of us. And laws like this, task force, it's like another ICE, basically. It's going to make it really easy to give consequences to people who, in this case, literally have maybe they're just, like, openly an atheist, or they're openly anti-Trump, who they think is Christ. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very loosely worded. I mean, under no circumstances is it ever okay, like, if someone were to be physically attacking Christians or something like that. That's one thing. But what they mean is, like, the Starbucks dilemma of, like, not putting enough Christmas shit on their coffee cups. Like, I swear, it's going to be shoved down our throats now. And that is not at all what the forefathers intended at all whatsoever. So we are in grave danger, to be honest with you. Not that is news, because you already knew that. Okay, this is my last headline for tonight. It's not great. The FDA is no longer going to be quality testing our milk. Unfortunately, bird flu is still happening. And there are a lot of scientists and people in the medical community posting, I don't want to call it alarmist because I'm sure that they know what they're talking about, but like, we'll just say scary shit about what's happening with bird flu, and the fact that we're not tracking it. It's not good. There was a suggestion online to try to only buy milk that's been ultra pasteurized. I would assume it says on the front of the packaging if that's the case. Yeah. It's a situation, you guys. Food is going to get less safe, and I'm not 100% sure what to do about it, because I don't think that the answer is like, I don't know that buying from local sources actually fixes this problem. Probably not. Unless you're literally producing your own food and you know exactly how it's been handled. And I do not currently own a cow. So, I mean, if it comes down to it, I guess, I am lactose intolerant, but my daughter still drinks milk and stuff. So it's a pretty scary time to be a person. Do I have any funny stories to tell you? No. I mean, I have like celebrity gossip stories, but they're really bad. Now that I said that, I feel like I have to tell you, but I don't even want you to have to know what's going on with this. All right, well, I can't say much about it because it's pretty inappropriate, but Kanye West, we'll just say he made a public admission about having an inappropriate relationship with his cousin until he was 14 years old. I'm going to take it, I'll say this about it. Two things. First of all, obviously that man desperately needs and wants both attention and probably help. Like, it does sort of feel like a cry for help at this point, because he was recently giving interviews in a full KKK outfit that was black, though. It was like a black KKK hooded robe, which is absolutely bananas. And the things that he is saying are like, he's very unwell, right? But this, right after the Pope died, he came out and made this statement about this. And I guess he is releasing a song about it. And he was giving very explicit details about it, that it's like the fact that there are celebrities that are, what is it called when they have somebody watching them all the time? The term is like, I'm blanking on it, but essentially that they're like not allowed to have access to essentially really the internet or like a free life. Basically, there's people like watching a conservatorship. There's the fact that there's other celebrities that have that and that he does not. Honestly, it's probably not even in his own best interest to be like free right now, because I think that the damage is probably done. It's probably too late. But what he is doing to his own life is extremely concerning. And it's very crazy that unfortunately, like, he also has children that are probably going to hear these things when they get older. It's not good. It's really crazy. There's a lot of jokes being made about it, and I get it because it's hard. It's so far out there that it was hard not to just be like, whoa. But mostly the jokes that are being made about it are just people being like, wow, that's bad. Like, this is really bad. And more like laughing out of extreme discomfort. Okay, well, that wasn't a funny story at all. That's like should we start ending the night on a deeply disturbing note? That's okay. That's the whole show. The whole show is just one very long, deeply disturbing note. All right. I gotta go finish my chores and get to bed. I don't know about you, but I feel like I am 100 years old. I am so tired. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an okay-ish enough day. And I hope you get some rest, and I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.